On this week's episode of Friend Code, we're celebrating the 3rd anniversary of the Switch. Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Friend Code. I'm your host, Michael Damiani. This week I'm joined by Sophia.
Hello.
And Ian.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Pretty good. I don't
Pretty
know.
good.
Yeah.
It's a little late.
It's late.
A little
but it's
late.
good.
And I want to start off real quick by just apologizing. You might have seen in the patron post saying that it was going to be Sophia and Ash joining us. Not to knock Ian or anything like that, but
Bronze medal.
there were Ash, unfortunately, is doing their due diligence and is still at a voting location right now, still waiting to cast her
voting
vote in
center.
Super Tuesday. So obviously that is way more important. So said, don't worry about it. We'll try and get Ash on the next episode. So I do apologize for that.
The lines
but-
at some of the stations were unpredictably long, apparently.
Yeah, mine was every
Mine
other
was
time
super
I've gone
short.
was always like a walk-in. This time
Yeah.
was 90 minutes because
Oh, I was in and out in like 10
so
minutes.
California did change to a new. We all vote with like the super iPad looking things now.
Yeah.
But
Pretty cool.
our location only got like 5 stations,
Oh,
and
mine
the-
had like 50.
and we used to have like 50 of the old ones,
Yeah.
and then they only got 5. So that was the reason why
Okay,
ours was
okay,
backed
okay.
up. But hey, still got it done. I'm happy.
I felt no pressure to rush when I was voting.
That's
It
good.
was nice.
No
Nice.
rush.
No rush.
But today, well, it also is recently the Switch's 3rd anniversary. Coming out
crazy.
Coming out in
birthday.
March of 2017. We are in March of 2020. It does not feel like 3 years.
I was gonna
No.
say it feels like a year and a half.
It
It's
does
crazy.
feel like
I-
a year and a half.
Yeah.
I want to say like last year, no,
Yeah.
it wasn't last year. It wasn't even 2 years ago.
Wait,
it feels
was that
weird.
Dodie 2017?
Yes,
Oh my God.
yes. That's like year 2 of Easy Allies. Feels so
Yeah.
ancient now.
It
Those-
really does.
The Brandon Garage days even like we're over a year.
You're right. You're right.
You can't say like, oh, or this past Jan. Oh, no, it was
Yeah.
a year ago. It's kind of fun.
What generation is the Switch, though?
Is
it technically next
let's not do that.
It's its own gen.
It's a
Yeah.
special
Yeah.
gen.
Special gen.
Yes.
New current gen plus.
It is
Yep.
funny to read those wiki articles that try and define each generation. They generally count like Switch, like I think they counted Wii U as part of like the next gen, but some count it in like past gen, so it's a touchy subject. But hey,
I would say the cleanest way to do it would probably just do Wii U and Switch in this gen. Because Wii U came out after PS4, didn't it?
so Wii U came out before PS4 and Xbox One.
Oh, then it's the PS3 generation.
So I generally tend to favor like people like to say it's the start of the next gen, but I also think like
Nah.
you gotta also have something you're offering that's completely unique, or just be like a power like jump
Yeah.
leap in power or something like
I mean,
that.
that's what usually characterizes
And I
it.
know the Wii U was more powerful than the previous systems, but it was in a weird place where I would have felt more comfortable. I know it was Wii, 360, PS3 were the generation there. I would have put Wii U because it didn't last that long. It was this weird like tail end of last generation.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like an intergenerational thing.
Basically, like, if PlayStation and Microsoft can do the, like, Slims and Pros and Pluses, we use, like, a PlayStation
It feels
Pro.
like a Wii Pro.
It's a Wii
It's a
Pro.
Wii Pro would
And
be
it
a good way to
It
put
was
it.
a failed experiment.
In fact, the Wii Pro probably would have been a better name for it.
Would have been a much better name.
And there wouldn't be as much confusion, I think.
Yeah.
Instead
There
of thinking it was a
would've
gamepad.
If they didn't call it the Wii 2, anything else is confusing.
Yeah. Do you think they would have called it Wii 2 like TOO instead of like the number 2?
Or they should have called it the Me 2.
Oh.
But as soon as I said that, I thought about the Me Too movement,
Yeah.
which is not the
I
joke
was about to say,
making.
it did predate
No,
that,
yeah, it was
but at
not-
the same
that was
time,
not the
probably
joke I was
in
making.
retrospect,
I was just thinking about
yeah.
we and me, and then it's like, oh, and me too.
You can see like Nintendo thinking they're geniuses, and
Yeah,
then like,
yeah.
about that. We're going
Yeah.
back to Wii U.
yeah.
That's very funny though, thinking about it like what makes a next generation. And it is usually just like, power. That's the first thing I think about. But what about like how we play games? It's weird that that isn't really a thing that creates a next gen. More so like how much power does this new thing have? Or
It felt like that with the Wii.
yeah,
The
exactly.
Wii was the first time where I was like, a different control
Yeah.
style felt like the thing.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, it's HDMI now. Oh, it's HD.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the most important differentiating feature about the Wii was
Oh,
the
yeah,
motion
for
controls,
sure.
the Wii remote, the nunchuck, that crazy setup. Because truth be told, it was 360 and PS3 were like that leap, that next gen leap in graphics and power, as you put it. Whereas Wii's like, I think that was the beginning of Nintendo's decision. We're not going after that anymore. We're going to go our own route, and we're going to go for something that's either disruptive, unique, or whatever it is to differentiate ourselves from the competition. And here we are now with Switch, which honestly to me, I don't know if it was ever intended this way. This feels like what Wii U should have been going for. Like Wii U should have been going for like a portable Wii.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Well, and I mean like this... You know,
this
is the evolution of a Wii remote, of a Wiimote, I guess.
Yeah.
The Joy-Con, and the screen and the portability of it is the evolution of the Wii U. It's like, it really is. They took everything they've ever done and like learned and iterated, and then this was born. And then they put out the Lite for the people who realized like, I never docked this blasted thing anyway.
Yeah, or just people like me where it's like, I wanted a Game Boy Advance, basically.
Yeah.
Something on a commute or when I have an hour to spare and I don't... Like, I never got it to be like, okay, I'm going to sit and play on it for 3-4 hours straight or, like, dock it. Like, the games that I like to play for longer are not on the Switch. Like, I'm playing the cute chill games where I'm just like, I'm going to, waste an hour or whatever. Yeah.
Shout out to this hero... Young lady on the plane next to me on the way back from Hawaii the other day. No clue how old, probably like early teens, 12, 13, 14, whatever. Like nervous to fly. The seats got messed up. I usually go for the aisle, but then like she was separated from her family, so we ended up switching. And we lucked out because there was no one in the middle, so like we got lucky. And I was just like sitting on the window seat, no problem, all the room in the world. But I was sitting there playing Fire Emblem DLC, and I look over this hero. She's sitting there with what's the clamshell one? The SP, the Advance SP.
Yeah, the GBA SP. Yeah.
The GBA SP. She's sitting there with a GBA SP playing Tetris, like black and white old school Tetris. And I was just like, who is this person?
Miraculous.
Pretty cool.
It was funny because that was me in like 2014, 15 when I used to commute to work. I used to play my Game Boy Advance.
The SP was the first Nintendo thing I ever owned.
Really?
I never had a Nintendo. I never had a Super. Never had
I had all the Game Boys.
Never had a Game Boy. I had a Game Gear. I was a Sega kid.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not have the 64, but I had all the handhelds. That was my jam.
Yeah.
But yeah.
SP. Good system.
The portability aspect of it, though, I think when Switch, so 3 years ago, Switch comes out, finds its success, has a very good year. But I did sense some people lament, like, there was a lot of calls at that time, and there still are, for the end of the 3DS, basically. Like, hey, stop putting stuff on 3DS. Put these on Switch. I bought a new system, and it's portable.
Yeah.
And I saw some people kind of pushing back against that, saying, the Switch really isn't a dedicated handheld, and it doesn't really fully capture what my 3DS, what my DS, what my Game Boys did for me in the past, and I kind of want a successor to that before, you start saying put all these things on Switch because it's not the same to me. And I think maybe the Switch Lite coming out last year might have been, I'm curious to those people who had that criticism, how they feel about the Switch Lite. Was that enough for them? Like the form factor being strictly portable focused, or is there other parts of it they still want to see reworked?
This is so funny because I think one of the last podcast we did together, we talked about just that, about the Switch Lite coming out and like...
Yeah, and it was right before or right after it came out? Yeah.
It was right after it came out, I believe. And like, for me personally, this is exactly what I wanted. When the first edition came out, I think I was just confused because it's like, it is a bit too bulky. It's kind of like when you get those massive ass phones. And I'm like, is it a phone or an iPad? Like, what is it that you want with this big thing, right? And so I looked at it and I'm like, okay, yes, it is, but it's trying to be two things at once because they kept selling it on. You can dock it, you can put it on a TV. It's fine. You can.
Don't listen to her. Switch.
It's okay if you want to.
You're perfect in every way.
This is just my personal thing, and it's fine.
Yeah.
You can carry it if you want to. But this is a nicer, lighter, cuter version, and also
and we're hand twins too. I've never felt so betrayed.
We are hand twins. We have the same size hands. I have longer nails than you, but we have the same size hands. But, yeah, I don't know. Also, like the little girl who won the Pokemon Championship played on the Switch Lite, so shout out.
Yeah, that was
Very cool.
that was interesting. What were you telling me that like they were suggesting to bring pro controllers and stuff, and they're just
It was
like
fun-
Switch Pro.
Yeah, it's funny. So
Yeah, we should back up and actually
back up.
explain this real
So-
quick. Yeah.
there are Pokemon championships, tournaments, both in cards, video games. And recently it was the 2020 championship that focused on Sword and Shield. And they have like several divisions, and one of them was the junior division, which was the best one because a 7-year-old girl, her name was Simone Lim, I believe.
Yeah.
And she won. And she was the cutest thing. It's literally the best thing to happen to esports in a long time. Like, I love esports. I breathe esports, but it can be so toxic. It can be just, yeah. And so it was nice to just see this cute little girl play, and she had this big plush of Eevee next to her. And that was funny because I read the rules, and it said like, you're allowed to bring like a trinket or a good luck charm with you and have it next to you. And she brought this massive like stuffed Eevee.
It's like as big as her torso.
It's incredible. And when she wins, she just sits there and oh my god, I don't know. I
She
just
like didn't
needed
believe it at first. It's the most precious thing, and then
I-
she just smiles.
Yeah, I feel like we need that stuff. I didn't even know. I was oblivious to the fact. But yeah, this was Oceanic.
I didn't hear about it until
Championship.
just earlier today.
Yeah. And even you were pointing out that they used a Switch Lite to play.
Mm-hmm.
Even the preference of how you're playing the game, like controller you use, can be something that's like highly contested in like esports. Like it become
Yeah.
even a toxic subject in like in the fighting game community.
Mm-hmm.
There was an old stigma against anyone who didn't use a fighting stick.
Right.
So if you were a pad player, a controller player, you were just inherently viewed as inferior. So yeah, when you come to like a more competitive tournament, oh, you didn't bring your Pro controller, you bring your Switch Lite. What, like, you can see how that happens, but it's good to see visibly people using those other ones because, like, hey, you can be good with any kind of controller. That, like, the controller does not make you better. You know, the tool can help, but like it's ultimately up to you to like display that skill. And like that was like a great thing to show, like, hey, I can do it my way, and you know, I won.
And you can be 7 years old, and you can be
That-
just a badass little girl who just like went up there. No,
The
it was
interviewer's like, "How do you feel?" And she's like,
happy. No, it was great. I think, yeah, the funny thing with the Pro controller, it was basically just saying, like, you have to bring your own stuff. The way you get into it is you climb and you kind of do what everyone else does to get into certain pro leagues, except I don't think it's the same kind of team mechanic. And then it's like, you know, you play the best out of 3, you choose 6 Pokemon. They have like a list of things that are allowed and not allowed. It's like very complicated for a
like some
7-year-old.
Pokemon are banned or something.
I think so, yeah. And they're actual metas, so they need to know which Pokemon is strong right now, which one you should use against, and then there are only certain Pokemon that you can. What's it called?
So there's Dynamax and
Dynamax, yeah.
Gigantamax.
Dynamax,
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
Digivolve.
I like-
Digivolve.
Mega
Mega Evolve.
evolutions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
X and Y.
Make them look all big and weird, you know.
Gigantamax is the other one, right?
Well, yeah, there's
There's
Dynamax and Gigantamax
Dynamax-
in Sword and Shield.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
They make it all confused. This is the same name
Shout
for a
out-
different thing.
Shout out to the Pro controller though. That thing rules.
Yeah, I mean, I have no preference, but sure.
It's a good thing though, because looking back at the 3 years of Nintendo, there's some debate. There'll obviously be some dissent about how much they've helped with like the quote unquote competitive scene, but Nintendo's kind of done their own thing. It's always been kind of like their MO when it comes to any kind of competitions with their games.
Well, now I
And-
feel like they're not pretending anymore
yeah.
with the Switch. You know what I mean?
Like, how specifically? Sorry.
Like with Wii U, maybe specifically Wii U, it felt like they were still trying real hard to like court third-party developers and get Batman on there and like all this stuff, and it was like
Okay,
felt
yeah,
like
sure.
they were trying to play ball with the big boys, whereas the Switch is like, we don't want to play that kind of ball anymore. We're just gonna do this cool thing over here, and it's gonna be sweet.
I'm
don't
kind
know.
of curious how much pressure Nintendo really felt that they needed to bring third parties. I think during Wii U was probably the most because the system didn't find its legs, whereas like the
Yeah.
Wii succeeded. But one of the biggest criticisms during that generation was Nintendo's loss of this third party support
Right.
that was present during the previous generation. They were getting a lot of the big games, not all of them, but a lot of the biggest games were still coming out on GameCube back then.
I remember the first time I played Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
I was borrowing my friend's GameCube, and I kept thinking the game was about to be over because I was supposed to bring the GameCube back over to his house. But then it was like, you know how that game ends like 6 times? It's like
Yeah.
the castle, then the island, then the
It's-
thing, and then the
goes
thing.
on forever. It's a long
I
game.
love that game, but like,
Been playing a lot of it lately.
It was
by
on
the
a
way.
GameCube,
Yeah.
my first time I ever played, and then I immediately got it on the Wii and played it again.
Yeah.
Once I got a Wii.
And now,
Yeah.
and it's
And now
on
I have it on my Switch.
and that's what I did.
See?
I for games recently been playing. I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil 4 because it went on Capcom had a sale and it went like half off.
Oh, wow,
now
yeah.
finally it was like the price because I've owned it so many
I've owned it, like,
times.
6
I was
times.
not paying full price for it again or even close to
I
it.
think I
So
did. I think I
Oh,
paid
I've
full
done
price.
that on GTA. LA Noir is one I got on this
Yeah.
one.
You've bought LA Noir so many times.
I have bought it for every, yeah.
if you love a
I
game,
no regrets.
hey,
Yeah, no regrets.
yeah, no regrets.
Same with GTA.
To-
I bought it for PC. My PC didn't run it. No regrets.
Yeah, you gotta get it.
I just have it.
Hey, it plays well in there now. So there you go. And then the Switch had like the touchscreen stuff as well.
For Resident Evil
For
4?
No LA Noir.
Oh.
They-
I mean, it was fine.
Okay, I didn't know how good it
yeah,
was, but they were like in the trailers. They were touting it as like it's a big
Yeah.
deal. It's like
That's the LA Noir
Yeah,
thing. They're like,
that's-
new control thing,
Yeah,
new VR
for
thing.
sure.
But it's like, no,
Yeah,
it's underwhelming.
it was fine.
To back up though, real quick, to clarify my original point, Ian, you took it as like third party support. What I actually was trying to get at is in the competitive scene of like competitive video games. Nintendo's kind of like marched their own tune, and especially during this generation with the Switch, they've supported like Splatoon, Smash Brothers with Ultimate, and Pokemon. And they run their own things. Like they did the Mario Maker 2 Invitational.
Arms.
They've done ARMS. They've done their own thing. And they're
Yeah.
these like fan celebration events where their MO is they want it to be running alongside. There's always going to be the competitive scenes that do their own thing and have their own rules, like no
Yeah.
items smashed and
Yeah.
stuff. But Nintendo understands that there's another audience that wants to be a part of this, wants to have a taste of this, that wants to feel maybe a little less intimidated to jump in and experience this stuff. So they foster their own environments for this, and they make these leagues for different ages, so that it's not like not saying a kid can't go against an adult, in skill level, but like it's if you're not that skilled and you're a kid, it's gonna be super intimidating. But also the rule sets kind of play like they're a little bit more fair to everybody out there. And you see them supporting them, and they get a lot of people to watch them. And you see, in my opinion, you see like a good amount of diversity in those tournaments as well.
You do.
And I think
Yeah.
that's what Nintendo's doing a good job of, is they're starting to show the visibility of like anyone could play these games and have a good time and be on stream, which is a gateway then to like if you want to get into one of these more competitive scenes, you got to start somewhere. And those competitive scenes can be really intimidating to get into. So this, I feel, is a better entry level to start at and work your way up.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm happy that Nintendo's doing this, and I kind of want Nintendo to just be like, you know what? Screw you guys. We don't have shooters, and like we don't have like the CS:GO or we're just gonna do our own thing. It's cute. It's for everyone. It's fun. It's innocent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Switch is gonna have all the, like I don't know, Skyrim.
And
I
then-
played that again, and it was
Skyrim's on everything.
I don't know why I tried.
Skyrim's on
Skyrim's
everything.
going to launch on
old.
PS5.
I
Yeah.
know it's so old.
Is
And
Skyrim on phones?
Probably.
it will.
It probably is.
Probably. It has to be. Something of Skyrim
it's
is
on
on
Alexa.
phones. It's got to be on
I
everything.
opened it again to play. I was just going through my library and
Library?
no, my library.
Library of
What did I say?
Games.
Library.
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 That just gives me the most
Library.
insane. I say library. Oh, I
No,
say
you
it more.
don't.
I say more like a British person.
Library.
Yeah.
You don't. I've never heard you say library
I
before.
don't think I've ever said the word. Yeah, I never talked about going there. Who goes there?
Bibliothek.
Bibliotech.
Wow,
You go to the
bibliothek.
That's the
bibliotech.
Norwegian way of saying it.
That's the German way too.
Yeah, see? That's what I would say.
Donde está
Style
la
of
Biblioteca,
biblioteca?
yeah.
That's Spanish for
That's Spanish.
Library. I'm gonna sound. I got the worst library.
I didn't mean to call it. I didn't mean to make this.
How
a
do
whole
I
thing.
say that in a non like
Huh? Library.
library?
When I was on the plane.
Oh gosh, we could go for this ever. I'm really bad at this too. There's so many words I do this and I get called out for it too. So
Library.
don't feel bad at all.
To get back to controls real fast, I just
Yeah.
wanted to shout out that I don't know if this was in an update or if it was always there and I didn't know about
Sure.
it, but on the plane, I noticed that you can have airplane mode, but you can turn on the Bluetooth controllers to still be on.
Oh.
So I had on the Hawaiian Airlines doesn't have TV screens in their seats, but it has a little thing for holding your device.
Oh, that's so
It
nice.
clamped in on this, and then I had my Joy-Cons just in my lap, and I was just playing, and it was great
Yeah.
because I didn't have to hold it up.
The dream.
The dream.
I'm gonna hold mine up.
Because and remember the
Yeah.
original
Versatility.
thing about
Nah.
third year anniversary stuff, the original trailer for the reveal of Switch back in October of 2016, that little trendy video they did where people were playing it in their apartment. We saw the first
Yeah.
pulling it
Oh,
out
yeah.
and
I
in
love
and
that
stuff.
noise.
But then playing it on the plane, and everyone's like, wait a second, you can't do that on a plane because it violates the thing. But now it worked.
Yeah.
You can do it, and I forget who updated what, but you can do that now, obviously, since you did it.
And they've allowed
Yeah.
Bluetooth for a long time.
Yeah.
It was really funny. We're just never going to be on one topic for more than 2 seconds,
No.
K Damiani. But
Oh, no, that's fine.
here's the thing. When earlier today because we realized we didn't want to stream One Punch Man for the group stream earlier this week,
Yeah.
and we were trying to discuss in Slack, and Bossman was like, "Well, it's the third birthday on Switch
Saw that.
for Switch, and it was like, so we could do something with that." And I was like, "What? The third birthday is on
That
Switch?"
PSP game.
That weird, sexy PSP game
Parasite
that's
Eve
like Parasite Eve
continuation.
3 or something. And then I was like, oh, no, wait, he means the third anniversary.
I had to play a game of Game Trailers, actually.
You had to review it?
I don't know if we did a review. I did a preview for it, but it had the time travel thing where you had to do multiple playthroughs.
Oh, man.
But it was a precursor because it was Tabata's game, the guy who did Final Fantasy Type 0 and then went to do Final Fantasy 15
Yeah.
before departing Square Enix.
Is third birthday the one where her clothes coming off is the health
Yes.
meter?
It's one of
Nice.
the things. Yes.
That's nice.
Video
Yeah,
game.
I called it out. I'm pretty sure I called it out, whatever I wrote. I was
Video
just like,
games.
really?
Oh,
Okay,
my
whatever.
God.
I mean, I don't think they were trying to do it in a sexualized way. They were
No,
trying
they
to
were
do
trying
it
to do it in, like, a battle
you were really
damage.
about to die. Like, you
That's-
were
Yeah,
being
yeah.
like you're going to die.
You've been
Like
hit
your
by so
armor?
many monsters. Yeah, it's like your armor
They didn't want
breaking.
a health bar or something, so we got to represent
Yeah.
this.
I mean,
character. I mean, Soul Calibur 6 does that.
that's what happens in horror movies when women run away from monsters. They're like, they just
Or
lose
in
clothes.
Attack of the Clones when that monster gives
Yeah,
Natalie
Natalie
Portman a
Portman.
perfect midriff.
Crop
Next
top.
shot, crop top.
Woo! Should have done that to Anakin. Just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what the hell are we talking about?
I don't
So
know.
we were talking about the
Video
competitive
games.
scene, Nintendo
Oh,
doing their
yeah,
own
yeah.
thing, and we don't have to keep talking about it for that much longer. I just wanted to say, because people obviously love the other fighting game communities, and obviously lots of respect to them for carrying the torch and doing their own thing, but they can coexist.
Yeah.
The FGC can exist, do their own thing. They can run their own tournaments. Nintendo does their own thing. But I also do sympathize to a small extent about Nintendo doesn't fully embrace that scene like some other companies do. So I do want to slightly call out Nintendo. I like what they're
Yeah.
doing on their own thing.
No, I
But at
agree.
the same time, there are people who've had to on their own time, their own dime, carry these communities and beg Nintendo for help. And Nintendo's like, we just don't do this. Where you see
Yeah.
Capcom, Microsoft, Sony, everyone else supporting, Bandai Namco, supporting their communities, at Evo and all these big tournaments, throwing money into prize pools, help fostering leagues, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's not Nintendo's thing. But I also want to just clarify, I don't think it's ever going to change.
Well, Nintendo's for a long time, and I mean, my experience with it is more in the YouTube space, but Nintendo's whole thing is always just controlling the means of production. I get not really,
Yeah.
but controlling how their message gets out there, how their stuff is shown. Remember when they were doing that ambassador thing? You had to be approved by Nintendo to even put
Yeah.
videos of Nintendo games.
All back
on
with their YouTube policy.
Yeah.
So
and,
I
and they're
don't
the
wanna-
same way with
Yeah.
fighting game tournaments and stuff too, where it's if it's not our show, it can't exist.
It's really interesting because I've seen similar mentalities at other companies for certain games where controlling how your game is perceived by the largest audience is the most important thing. I'm going to bring up Final Fantasy 14 as an analogy here because recently Naoki Yoshida, the producer of that game, had to give almost a 30-minute monologue in his recent game update a month ago, telling people, explaining a situation about in Final Fantasy 14, there's a tool, the third-party tools. There's a very popular one called ACT that measures your performance in the game, how much damage you're doing, essentially. And it's generally used as a tool to help people figure out how to get better and how to beat a fight more efficiently. But obviously with that comes people who shame people. You're not doing good and stuff. You're a terrible
Can
player.
you see other people's ACT
So-
scores or something?
Inherently, no. unless someone
school
types the rule is you're not supposed to acknowledge you're using it. It's like just don't ask, don't tell. Like as long as you don't harass people with it and keep the information to yourself, we don't care.
Right.
But a very popular streamer had it on display on their stream. All the streamers were doing this, and then was harassing a player about it. And it kind of got back to them about like, we got to say something about this.
Sorry,
And
the streamer was harassing a different player?
harassing a player they were playing with for having poor performance, basically.
Okay.
And then it became a big deal, and blah, blah, blah. Like, long story the short, I don't want to talk too much about this, but to make the point, is that they had to give this speech basically saying, like, hey, we understand that like you're gonna do what you're gonna do, but like we have to officially say no to this because we can never officially say yes to this,
right?
Because it invites a different mentality about our game.
Right.
It will encourage more people to take it like so seriously in terms of like this tool that it'll be like more toxicity will come into our game than what we want.
Yeah.
More players will be the norm will become you got to be good, and all this pressure is put on the average player, and then like this shaming thing is gonna keep happening no matter what we our best despite our best efforts. I think that's very analogous to like Nintendo's mentality is that like if we fully embrace this, we understand you're doing this, but like we also then saying we're okay with this.
Well, and that's the same thing about not having voice chat in games and stuff. It's like their stance where some other games are like online interactions are not rated by the ESRB. Nintendo is like, since that can't be controlled, we're not going to have it.
Yeah.
You know? They want to control it to keep it safe for kids, I guess.
Or just
ostensibly
safe for people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, like,
yeah.
that's just their tactic, I guess. That's their choice.
I mean, I think it's great. It's kind of the similar of like, I just thought of like, Overwatch has the career profile, right? Where you can see what people are ranked. And now you can choose to put that private. And it's like, yeah, which is like, sometimes the reason I want to do that is not because I'm ashamed of something or whatever. It's just like I don't want to be harassed because of it, right? Like I don't want people to go into my profile and be like, oh, you're just, level whatever, so you can't play that character or, whatever. Like that's the problem, I think, with those ranks. And so I mean, that's the way they fix that. But then also, again, now people are getting called out for being, wimps who don't show their... But that's whatever.
It's going to happen, but, like, they got to do their best to, be as encouraging to the larger player base. They got to be on their side, basically, especially if we want a product to be successful, a game to be successful, and the community to generally be, like, viewed as pretty positive. But, I mean, that's, like, again, just to say, Nintendo has put on some pretty exhilarating stuff. The Super Mario Maker 2, like, relay race stuff.
I was thinking about that.
Like,
yeah,
there's
the
good
HGDQ
stuff that comes out of it. Or even, like, their own tournament, like, their, like, wizard-style, like, video Armageddon thing. The video game championships they did that they brought back from, like, the early 90s, where it's, like, play a bunch of these games and stuff, and, like, whoever gets the highest... It's, like, it's kind of fun to see it. It's a different type of tournament, and... I think it's just as viable and stuff. And it's been really nice to see over the years them do that and see them kind of continue that with, the Switch and stuff. And I hope they keep doing it as well.
Yeah. It's so much fun. Those Super Mario Maker relays are like one of my favorite things.
They're really awesome to watch. They're really fun to watch.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
3rd year anniversary of Switch, though. There were some good games that came out that year, if you remember.
The first year, you mean?
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah.
I was being a little facetious there, but like if you really don't remember, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. No, just in the year, the first year.
The first year. Oh, I think.
But like,
March, yeah.
But the anniversary, Breath of the Wild. Let's start with Breath of the Wild. Launch title for the Switch.
Well, because it was on Wii U.
It was on Wii U as well. Let's not forget.
Did it come out first on Wii U, or is it same day?
They were same day.
Okay.
So
it's a Switch game.
They at least were good about that. In the past, Twilight Princess, they made you get the GameCube version after the Wii version.
Oh yeah, that's how it went.
It was a month delayed.
Like backwards.
They wanted you to have the new system to play it first. But this time they're like, no, this was in development for Wii U for so long. It's only fair that we do it that way. But that game, I think that might be one of the best launch titles.
Oh yeah,
of all time.
Easily.
Well, I feel like the new Hellblade might be good.
Maybe, but I
don't know why that popped in my head. I just love that trailer so much.
Oh,
for Xbox.
For Xbox Series X, yeah, sorry. I was thinking of a different game with a blade on it, and I was like, no, you said Hellblade.
Yeah, no.
I was thinking
of Mountain Blade.
No, some really trashy action.
Infinity Blade.
Action game.
What is it called?
Maybe it was like Infinity, like Crossblade. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that. I mean, that definitely has potential.
I don't know. It's going to look good, but I don't think that Hellblade 2 Senua's Sacrifice
the full title. Sorry,
is as big of a system seller as Breath of the Wild was.
And
Probably.
people like nice graphics.
They do.
People
like
like
nice
water.
I mean,
People
it's
like,
a very strong thing to have on that system. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
it gives you a lot of confidence.
You need a good launch title.
And I wonder if like Breath of the Wild kind of like has shown these other companies like we really need to have like a killer app. We can't do this thing where like we just have some cross-gen releases and then like maybe one exclusive, but like it's not the heavy hitter.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, obviously, but like cross-gen.
But I
there,
mean, that was kind of PS4 though.
yeah.
PS4
what did
and
it launch
PS3
with?
had nothing. At
Nothing.
launch,
It had
if
literally
I-
nothing.
that
And that's
I
the thing.
remember.
And then Switch comes
bouncer?
out. It's like Breath of the
right
Wild.
away.
Take
Yeah.
that.
They did that really good. I wonder if that's why, like Xbox has this launch title and it's like, this is going to be the thing. Because, PS4, I just remember I didn't get it for months because I'm like, there's nothing here.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, there's no reason.
If there's one thing I can tell you from all years in video game coverage and stuff, is you really do not want to buy a system at launch.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like
Well, and-
Breath of the Wild was maybe one exceptions, but like in general, the rule of thumb is wait a little bit, and you're gonna have so many good games. It's not like
I mean,
the best idea.
I wasn't gonna get a Switch,
yeah.
which is now my favorite console. Right now, certainly, maybe. I mean, I guess the PS1 or 2 might still beat it out of all time, but like, favorite console, one of my favorite consoles, and like, I wasn't going to buy one until I sat on the couch. I had like a bit of a cold or whatever. I just laid on the couch and watched my roommate Omar play Breath of the Wild for 7 straight hours, and I was having a blast. And by the end of that, I was like, I need to get this. I need to play this. I wasn't even mad about having to like replay stuff I'd seen. I was like so gung ho. And then I bought my friend's Spanish pre-order.
Oh,
This is a Spanish Switch.
you could say yeah.
from
They just changed the
Spain.
region.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is the only thing that was different is the power.
Oh,
The power outlet is a
Okay, the
is a
voltage is a little
Spanish. Well, it's just that big. It's kind of like the Norwegian one, the
Yeah.
European plug.
okay.
So I had to get a converter. I still have that one. It has a converter from the European plug to an American plug, just on my.
Nice.
So yeah, but I bought he bought it on Amazon Spain or whatever because they were impossible to get.
Yeah, the Switch sold very well its first year.
Yeah.
It felt like the Wii again in terms
Yeah.
of the success.
Yeah.
The success that Nintendo was having. It's still selling pretty well now, I think, but I don't think it's quite. The hype level for it isn't quite the same mentality as when the Wii was like in its third year. That thing was like impossible to find for like 2-3 years. Like it was just sold out. They did the IOU. They did an IOU program for the Wii. Reggie had to come out and say, "Hey, you can buy IOUs for Christmas, which says you will be promised a Wii by no later than this date next year."
that.
So you can at least put that under the tree or stocking, whatever, for the holidays and
I
stuff
remember
like
I
that.
had a. This is so nerdy. I had. What year did the Wii come out?
2006.
2006.
That's fast.
So I
Good job.
was almost graduated from college, and I was so hyped about the Wii that my mom bought me a Wiimote, or I bought a Wiimote.
Oh,
or
just
something.
the Wii remote?
Just a remote, and because I was waiting to get the system, and I would just like sit. I would sit on the couch watching TV, just kind of like waving this Wii remote around, pretending. I was like a
Oh,
full-on
gosh.
adult. I was like, well, I don't know how old I'd be in 2006, but like 21, I guess. But like, or when was I born? I don't know how to
Yeah,
do
it
that.
would be 21.
Yeah, but I was 21, sitting on my couch, just like pretending with a Wii remote.
I mean, I remember Super Nintendo was like the first system for like. I mean, we got an NES, but like at the end,
Yeah.
like it was basically Super Nintendo was coming out the same year. I got an NES. My parents were a little confused about it, and like. Anyway, Super Nintendo was the first one I was like anticipating.
Yeah.
And I remember there's Toys R Us had units for them, like the display units where you could actually play the game. Every time
For the Super.
for Super Nintendo, every time we were at Toys R Us, my parents would like buying gifts for whatever family members, whatever events. Anytime I had an excuse to be in there, literally was there just playing. I would just like, even if it was a line, I would just stare at the screen for Super Mario World, just the title screen,
Yeah.
and I would just like be like, "Oh, this is gonna be so cool! I want one of these." So just like dreaming of like, "Mate, I'm gonna play this one day." Hopefully, it was like I wasn't sure because like I don't know if I'm getting this or not, but like
Yeah.
at least I can stare at it right now and it exists and it looks so cool.
Sleepovers at friends' houses who had a Super were like epic.
Oh,
Watching Link's Awakening or not Link's
Link to the
Awakening,
Past?
Link to
Yeah.
the Past, and like Mario and stuff. Oh my god, Some of my favorite childhood memories.
I kind of miss not just that, but like we don't really have the camping out thing anymore.
I miss
Because
that.
everything's like most people buy stuff from like
yeah.
like a digital storefront now or an online shop like Amazon or something like that. Obviously GameStop's in decline and stuff. Like everyone's like, expecting it not to last too much longer. But I kind of remember like in every previous gen there being like a camp out, like 3DS. There was a camp of that. Definitely for Wii, that was chaotic.
Yeah.
And there's kind of something I like that, like sitting in the line, talking with other people, anticipating that. My favorite one is Xbox's launch year was also the same year that Metal Gear Solid 2 was coming out for PS2. And for me, like PS2 is one of the greatest systems. It ranks up there, and I loved it. And I was super anticipating Metal Gear Solid 2. So I was at line at a Best Buy back then because they were doing a launch day event. And I'm in line, and I'm so stoked seeing this huge line. I'm like, look at all these Metal Gear fans. And I go up to them, and they're like, hey, what's up? Like, yeah, you're here for the launch? I'm like, yeah, and so this is so cool. And then they're like, so what games are you getting first? I'm like, oh, we're just getting, like, you mean Metal Gear Solid 2, right? He goes, oh, is that on Xbox right away? I'm like, oh, no, we're here for Metal Gear Solid 2. We were like as long as the line was, we were the only people at the time in line for my friend and I, in line for Metal Gear Solid 2, while everyone there was for Xbox. So then immediately they're like, oh, can you if you get a ticket, can you give it to us? We're going to buy another Xbox and stuff. And like, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. We just want like Metal Gear. Yeah, we'll let you go ahead and stuff if you're just getting Metal Gear. And I was like, I felt so bad. I mean, it was cool to see all these like people in line for video games, but I was so looking forward to talking Metal Gear with them.
It's funny that they didn't just like let you go in and get Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Well, when they opened the store it was like a midnight launch or whatever, they said, oh, you really just here for Metal Gear? It was like, just go in and get it and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like they cordoned off the Xbox people eventually,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, you can't get one now if you're out of this line. But yeah, I was like so excited. My friend and I were just like super excited. Oh man, like let's talk about theories and stuff. Like who's that blonde hair writing guy really gonna be and stuff? Like, is that like none of that. It was so just sad.
What I mean, I love Metal Gear 2, but what year did that come out?
It's like 2001, I believe.
So yeah,
2000
I
or
was in high
2001.
school. My friend Brandon and I
2001.
played the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo for more than 100 hours.
Oh gosh.
That demo was so good. And they nerfed the real game because you couldn't like torture the soldiers as
Oh
much.
jeez.
You could do some pretty gnarly stuff in the demo.
But these feelings I have, even though I didn't wait in line for it, just playing Breath of the Wild at launch, I got to play a little early because Easy Allies we did get is the long lost days of getting games from Nintendo early that doesn't happen
Nintendo
anymore.
hates us. I
They
don't know
hate
what
us
the deal
now.
is.
They really don't like us.
They send us stuff on. Well, they send us things, so they don't hate us. But they send it on launch day.
At like 9 a.m. in the morning, like 12 hours after it's been available on the
Yeah.
eShop.
So it's like we've all already bought this
Yeah.
game, dude. Like,
Aw.
Anyway.
I mean, don't stop.
yeah.
But
Hey. But anyway,
they
like
think we're influencers or something. I don't know.
playing.
You are, aren't you?
Ugh,
What is
We're
an
weird.
influencer?
it's a
even?
weird thing.
You guys
Well,
are kind of influencers.
they don't like YouTube things because somebody leaked a bunch of stuff. When
That
they-
was the original reason. There was a leak that happened back in 2017. Again, third year anniversary of Switch. Ahead of Super Mario Odyssey's release, the Mario and Luigi, it was either Bowser's Inside Story or Superstar Saga, I forget which one, was getting a remake through 3DS, and an outlet that had it literally leaked the game online. Not
my
like
God.
broke embargo and posted videos. Pirated the game, aided in
Wow.
piracy, and distributed it, gave it to someone who distributed it, and they were found out. And basically, Japan, NCL, Nintendo's Japan home office, was like,
Yeah.
no.
Never again.
The ban hammer came down on everybody
Yeah.
in America. Europe, obviously, Europe and everywhere else was spared. They continued to get review copies. But eventually, when they started bringing everyone back into the fold again in North America, we just weren't included. We've gotten one game early since that event. Do you know what it is? It is, obviously a Switch game.
Was it Astral Chain?
No, did not get that early.
I thought we did.
A first-party Nintendo game. Or a Nintendo published game.
I feel like as soon as you say it, I'm gonna be like, oh right.
It's a game Ben reviewed.
Yeah, I knew. I remember Ben.
It's not the
getting it.
mainline part of it. It's a standalone DLC.
Oh, Torna.
There you go. We got Torna early.
Yeah,
Hey, we got something. Big RPGs. But anyway,
that's first party.
yeah, it's Xenoblade. Monolith Soft is owned by Nintendo.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the feeling I got playing Breath of the Wild when at Switch's launch, like, I had so much fun with that game. I love that game so much because it was the closest I felt to playing a new game, especially a new Zelda game. It gave me the feelings I had almost when I first played Ocarina of Time back in like 1998, like almost 20 years earlier. That game was so new and different. First 3D Zelda game, like big environments. It was just so new and different. And this is like open world Zelda. And I was like, we're so used to 3D games now. It's almost hard to be surprised anymore by this. And there have been so many open world games. I was just kind of always worried, like, this is going to, like, it'll be cool, but we're going to see a lot of stuff we've done before. And somehow, for me, maybe I just don't play enough open world games, but it just, like, blew my mind.
Oh, yeah,
like,
me
the
too.
ability to just go anywhere in that game, pretty much, and the freedom it gave me. I did not buy what they were selling at first. Like, it's going to be linear at parts. There's going to be too much story here or something. I know you keep saying this, and they didn't lie. I was like, wow. And I know you.
Oh, I love that
Breath
game,
of the
yeah.
Wild.
I mean, well, you nailed it. Like it playing that game, watching Omar play that game felt like the old days watching my friends play Link to the Past, and like it had that same feeling, and like finally getting to play it. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It felt like some kind of new, fresh thing. Even though, yeah, it's an open world game, but I hadn't seen an open world game done so artfully and so meticulously. Like the world class world building in that game is just looking around. Even if something doesn't lead to some secret, which more often than not it does, but even if it doesn't, you still feel rewarded just because you got to a cool vista or something, you know? Like,
Yeah.
that game is truly phenomenal.
Yeah.
And yeah, my God. Oh, that game. Oh, man. I just think about like hearing Kaz like play the accordion for the first time. I was like, what is that music? Where's that coming from? And like finding him. It was so good.
It was just a game that I think people were just having fun playing it in their own way.
Yeah.
You would see like even like up to a month or after, just like it felt like the vibe of like the excitement behind it was still there. People finding out new things in that game, just like random like discoveries people were doing and stuff in that game, and yeah.
I have an aunt who is a Christian fantasy novelist.
Wow.
And obsessed with Zelda. Loves Zelda.
Old school Zelda has a lot of Christian symbology in it, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, she loves Breath of the Wild, loves everything. Just playing the hell out of it.
They're like I don't know how much you got to have fun with Breath of the Wild.
It's
okay.
No,
No.
calm. I don't want to say anything.
all right.
I don't want to say anything. I don't want people to hate me.
Oh, so you don't? No, if you don't like, that's totally okay.
Is
like,
it?
It's a safe place. Yes.
Is it?
It is.
It's
Is
a safe
it?
place in here.
Is it?
It is.
It's not a safe place out there.
There were absolutely people who like
I've heard a lot of
didn't
people who
like
didn't like it.
understand why people got so excited about Breath of the Wild.
Here's the thing. First of all, I didn't grow up with any Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
I had no Zelda growing up. So for me, it was no nostalgia at all in any Zelda I do now. And I also just think for me, it just wasn't my thing. It's one of those
Yeah.
things where like, I didn't like Bloodborne, sorry, but it was too hard for me. I was too like, it
You
was
didn't
too
get over the
stressful.
hump.
I didn't
You
get
didn't
over
get
the
over
hump.
the
I
hump.
didn't. I got super angry and
believe in you.
I almost broke my PlayStation. But it's like
That means it's working.
I think what I felt with like those two games, it's like I can tell they are beautiful. I can tell that they, you know, they mean stuff to a lot of people. You can still value a game
Yeah.
even though you don't like it personally, right?
It's like
Like-
Rictus's baby brother. Perfect in every way.
It happens.
It's like I liking GTA and you're thinking it's
I
garbage.
fucking hate GTA.
I love GTA.
I can't stand GTA.
I look like an
5.
ad for GTA.
You're wearing a
But,
hat, yeah.
but
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
can't say that it wasn't a game that at the time was
Oh, I mean,
technically
it's an amazing
great.
game.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's
GTA
how I
5 rules.
Exactly. It's what we go through
Yeah.
every GOTY debate
Yeah.
discussion. Like there are games either I haven't played or just there aren't for me, like Disco Elysium this year. Or
Yeah.
sorry, last year, but this year's debate. I fully understand. I'm gonna let you speak about it, and like I understand your arguments and your point of view. That wasn't my point of view, but like at the same time, it was more this game isn't.
Are you again it?
Huh?
Are you again it?
No, I said like I couldn't get into it.
I
so
didn't know you was again it.
So I'm just not gonna like say anything negative about it other than it's not for me. I'm not gonna go like this game sucks and stuff like that because that's unfair. Like it's like
I could very easily see Disco Elysium not being someone's thing.
yeah, but like seeing how passionate you are
So
about it, it's
easily,
like
I
it
can see
clearly
that.
speaks to people, and I love it.
yeah,
And like that balancing act, especially when you're like a critic of games, it's like balancing you trying to like disseminate your opinion and like being assertive about it, but also like this isn't fact, this is an opinion, and that there are other people's point of views, and like they are just as valid. Like that I understand.
Yeah.
Bigger fandoms can be a little scarier and can get a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
I think like hey, listen, my Zelda review was hilarious because I got people who were angry and give it a perfect score. And then there were people when I gave it like a 9.5, whatever it was, like equivalent of a 9.5, the star system back then is what I would have given it. It was people were like, "Oh, thank you so much for docking it, not making it be a perfect game." Like 9.5 or 10, who cares? It's like pretty much the same thing. Like I was like, oh my gosh.
I have a confession to make.
Yes.
I left a comment on yours. I think it was your Spyro review.
Oh, Spyro. Okay. I mean,
because you didn't like the music.
Yeah,
I was offended.
You see, there were people. There were people who were like, "Wow, I'm glad you love this game, but wow, you're really wrong about the music."
And I was like,
it just doesn't. I've heard so much video game music.
I'm sorry.
And like, I know Bloodworth loves video game music and like listens to almost all of it. I listen to a lot of video game music too, and like I have my taste. And
that's what I was gonna say. Like your taste in video game music, and maybe just music at large. I don't know. Judging by your video game taste in music, is like basically the opposite of mine.
Well, it's
like all of the songs you're super into. Like
do you like Nier Automata's soundtrack?
Some of it.
Okay, so
like you're super into the Revengeance soundtrack, and I was like, I cannot handle this.
That's partly a troll. You know
okay,
that, right?
okay. I didn't know that was a troll or not.
Okay, let me.
Well, no, because like
sorry, I'm revealing a peek behind the curtains. I love Revengeance, and I get hype about the music because it's like it's like just gung ho. Let me have a little bit of like masculinity. It's like
intense,
let me be like a man for a second. Yeah,
but like that kind of like bubblegum
but
punk
it's
like
dumb.
weirdness.
Yes.
I like can't handle.
No, I like it's like fun to like get hype to, but Revengeance is not a soundtrack I will listen to over and over again. Where something like there's songs from Nier Automata is like I can listen to this like
some of those
very
tracks
often.
in Nier Automata are
not every soundtrack
really
is perfect.
good.
Every soundtrack I would argue has the weak links. And it's like I will not listen to this again, man. That it's okay. You have to have some bad songs.
Symphony of the Night, perfect soundtrack.
Give me I can't say it on here, but like if we went and listened to every song, I'll point out one like that was kind of middling. I won't say anything was horrible, but it's like that.
Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, perfect soundtrack.
Journey has the perfect soundtrack.
Dear Esther,
That actually
perfect
is
soundtrack.
Also, if like
GTA 5.
the shorter
GTA 5 is the perfect.
Well, counting songs or just the.
I mean,
the score?
songs it wins.
Licensing,
Score it
that's
wins.
cheating.
Score LA Noire is better if you're gonna talk Rockstar.
That is
Don't
good-
stop.
that is-
Stop
I forget what
pushing
got
me.
us down this line of talking again, but I'm gonna wrap it back into Breath of the Wild real quick to like.
What's that?
Do you know what other soundtrack I listen to all the time?
What?
Spyro.
Okay. Hey, so I never really played Spyro at all. I played a little bit of it, but never played through any of them. I thought like I did a good job articulating like this is really
You
good.
did,
It holds
you
up.
did.
And like if you disagree with me with the
cute as hell,
soundtrack,
yeah.
that's fine. You like it, that's great. But that's the thing. There are people who will love that soundtrack. Breath of the Wild's another one. You say you were mostly talking about like gameplay stuff and like you don't have the nostalgia for Breath of the Wild. There are people.
That music is great.
There are people I know, Ian, that think that still to this day say, man, that game had no soundtrack. It was a dumb thing. Like, why do people love that? Where's that soundtrack? Like,
It comes in when it needs to.
I know. There are people who don't like that approach.
Understated. I'm in the minority maybe on Breath of the Wild in Easy Allies even. Like I know some of the other guys didn't like the story, like Jones, Bossman, Brad, whoever. They didn't think the story was
The call-outs.
done well, or like they didn't like the non-linear and like how sparse it was. Give me sparse.
You loved it.
I love
on our spoiler mode. I remember our spoiler mode back 3 years ago.
Sparse
You
video game
were really
storytelling.
into it, and like I think
Outer Wilds.
to not get I really love that style
Breath
of
of the Wild.
storytelling. That style of storytelling. Sorry, but
Not GTA. Oh god.
being like the polar opposite of Sophia, though,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
do have some nostalgia for Zelda, and with that comes some baggage and expectations.
See, my
I
first Zelda was Twilight Princess.
I try my best to separate that at times. And for me, Breath of the Wild had a lot of beautiful things to say narratively, had a lot of potential there. I just was not a fan of I get why they had to go the route they did with the amnesia, the amnesiac thing. Like, they're like, okay, you've got to have someone. This is the way we do non-linear, and I get it, and like it was pretty good.
It's a bit of a trope,
but I wanted to have more involvement with like the past. I was like, I want to play in that time period. I want to play with these champions. I want to. I know.
Guess who remembers now?
And guess
who's getting a squeakquel?
Well, guess who got DLC, which let you play with more of them as well. I thought that's what you're getting at.
Well, that too, yeah.
But like,
now he fully remembers.
But the sequel, hopefully, will continue at least Link and Zelda's adventures. These characters we got to know in the previous game.
They're gonna. Hopefully, they're in it together.
Hopefully, we'll
play
see.
as Zelda.
But like, I thought there was so much potential to that narrative that was left on the table there.
Yeah.
But
that's what makes it great.
But hey, you're
Fill
right.
in the blanks with your own.
The
mind.
future games might do that, Ian. You know, time might tell for that. That's a whole part of the process.
Well, that's a challenge of open world storytelling.
Yeah, and I think it was their first attempt, so I think they'll probably do a better job with the sequel. Maybe. You know, they might do some new things that might even like get you more interested in it. You never know. Like, they might learn from their mistakes.
I'm open to it. I'm gonna get Animal Crossing. I have not wanted. I've never.
Animal Crossing.
Obviously, it's not my kind of jam, given my hot takes on video games that I like.
Which is weird because you love like cute animal.
I like Pokemon. And dog videos on YouTube.
Doesn't mean you have to like love everything that looks like cute and cuddly or a creature.
I played Pocket Camp and thought it was all right. I don't know.
There's lots of different creatures out there.
I like Pokemon because then you just fight other Pokemon and you know what I mean?
I'm worried about Animal Crossing.
What?
First and foremost, because I heard that story about that guy's mom, and it's just too sad, and I can't even think about Animal Crossing.
Is that a story in the game?
No, in real life.
Oh.
You guys don't know this?
So which one? Remind me. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the Game Boy
His
story.
mom was. I don't know which Animal Crossing it is, but this guy, his mom was sick, and introduced her to Animal Crossing as a way to pass the time, and then she kept doing all this stuff in the game. Like gathering all kinds of stuff, but the kid would like see her playing. I mean, I'm probably butchering this. It's a longer story, but like he would see her playing, and he was like, "Mom, you're doing it wrong. That's not how you're supposed to. That's not the main stuff. You know, that's not what you're supposed to do. You know." And she was like, "Well, you know, this is the way I want to play it. You know, blah blah blah." And then flash forward, she's passed away, and then he fires up his game, and it must have been GameCube or something, but like. It turns out that what she was doing was like doing all this stuff so that she could send his town like letters and gifts and all this stuff. So she was doing it all like to send him these fun little things in the game. And I like can't even handle it. There's way more to that story.
No,
but it's like I think that was the gist of it. But it's just too intense.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Animal Crossing, dude.
Maybe I shouldn't get it now. I get all sad now. Yeah,
I know.
Maybe I should just.
I'm sorry if I destroyed Animal Crossing for anyone, but I mean I'm gonna get it
instead.
Yeah, get Metro.
I'm gonna get Metro.
Redux.
Yeah.
Just gotta talk with Jones. Jones will sell you on it, or try his best to sell you on it if you're not into it.
I mean, I'm gonna get it,
but
I mean, I might get Metro.
Get it. It's
Try
on
it
there.
out. Yeah, it's coming to Switch.
It's already on there.
It's 2 days ago or whatever. Yeah.
That's been another thing. Like Switch in the 3 years it's been out. We briefly talked about third-party support. There have been like good third-party efforts on there, but I think the most impressive thing is seeing the Studio Panic button helping bring these like games that are meant for like PC, Xbox One, PS4 to Switch.
Yeah.
Like id games. Doom Eternal is going to be another one as well coming to Switch.
And they're not like horrendous?
Yeah. The Witcher 3 on Switch. I mean,
Switcher.
I'm tempted.
Ben said it was kind of good.
And they had another patch recently that even made it even run better.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive to see people trying their best with the Switch. Like it's a little bit more optimistic, I think, because it's selling much better.
Yeah.
But like,
well, that's the real T. Is like no one's gonna put in the effort on the Wii U because it just didn't push units. Whereas the Switch is like everybody's got one.
But it's also interesting to see because like the Wii sold very well.
Yeah.
And there were a few efforts to do like lower port job, like not lower effort, but like downgrades basically. Like Call of Duty was one. Like they even released a different version of Call of Duty one year for the Wii.
Wasn't there? Correct me if I'm wrong on this. Maybe I'm just making up whistling Dixie over here. But like, wasn't there some kind of thing where like Wii games had to have some kind of motion control stuff, and like a lot of games are turned off. But is that not real? Or is that
I don't
real?
think that was any kind of mandate.
Oh, okay.
No, but we selling well didn't like we didn't see. I think the kind of support we do for Switch. I think Switch has a better, bigger, broader appeal. That's
And
what was going
I
for.
imagine porting to the Switch hardware is probably easier, more optimized, more similar to other.
Actually, I think your point's better. Like what I just said, broader appeal. Like we obviously had very broad appeal. Like it sold very well because like it was meant for like more than just gamers. But I think like like something like it's a little bit more easy to port to the Switch than like that. Probably has a lot to do with it, but also like a more traditional interface, even with the Joy-Cons being motion controls. You've seen companies embrace, especially for shooters. Like Bloodworth loves using, the motion controls for shooters versus using dual analog.
Well,
it just offers
we're going to see more and more of this as time goes on in video gaming too, is because like, I mean, especially as things move toward cloud gaming and that kind of stuff, like xCloud and stuff, like, year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we're gonna just be playing like high end stuff on our phones, like and on our Switches and So I think that there's gonna be this weird kind of cross-platform mentality going forward in a few years, probably. So like more ports, more stuff, streaming things to your Switch, like they did with Resident Evil 7, was it?
Yeah, in Japan they did Resident Evil 7, and they also did.
I think we're going to see all kinds of
forgot
stuff.
the other game.
It's
they did
all in a very weird
I want to
spot.
say it was Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like
Honestly.
I think everything is it's weird because I feel like in terms of like, I guess hardware, I feel like everything kind of got squished in a way when VR entered because you had, here are these next gens, here's this new device and this, and then VR came in and it didn't like pop off as much as people thought. And then you have new gen, but VR is still going kind of, but it hasn't come to that like, okay, now it's here. And so now, and then this is coming in, and I'm just like, okay, well, where are we? Like the gen question, right? Like what is, we have like this one thing still continuing, but not getting that like, now it's here.
That's kind of what
like
I was saying. Is
AR,
like, I think it's all gonna just kind of go away.
Yeah.
Like after PS5, Series X, I think like generations aren't gonna be a thing anymore.
E3 is canceled.
E3 is canceled.
That's what all leads to.
Coronavirus.
Goodbye.
Even like just the length of quote unquote generations. It used to be like the standard was like 5 years. Everything gets 5 years, you move on.
Yeah.
That changed last generation.
And then Kirk shows up while you're chopping wood. No, Picard shows up while Kirk is chopping wood.
Yeah.
Whatever. I botched it.
I know.
I botched it.
Trying to make a Star Trek Generations joke. I got it.
Thank you,
You're
Damian.
a Star Trek fan?
I love Star Trek.
Really?
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Next Generation is like the greatest thing on the
But
planet.
do you like it better than Star Wars? Oh, you do now.
Easily, I do now.
Dumb question.
Wrong time.
Yeah.
Dumb question.
another
Never
time.
mind.
I think maybe I always did. I don't know. They were always equal
been
in my
like
mind, and now they're
7
I never knew
years.
where to begin.
drastically. Next Generation.
I think it's a good place.
Yeah.
There's so much.
I mean, it's funny because Star Trek original series is super great, but you definitely have to be in the mood for like retro vibe, Whereas Next Generation, I mean, obviously there are a few stinkers in there, but like Next Generation by and large is still thought-provoking, relevant, and pretty incredible
And
today.
they also remastered it. So at least the effects, they went back and touched those up, and they don't look. They look good for being
Is it
touched
back
up.
on Netflix again?
I don't remember.
But-
It's on Amazon or Netflix, but
Oh,
anyway.
okay.
Yeah.
I've seen Galaxy Quest in that one Black Mirror episode. So have I just seen Star Trek now?
You've seen the condensed version.
Oh, okay. So I don't need to watch it. Oh,
Yeah.
great. It's a great show.
That's the mirror universe version of Star
Yeah.
Trek.
Anyways, the Switch.
Yeah, so
This has been a roller coaster of a podcast.
It's gone all over the
Dahlia.
place.
Let's just
I
talk
mean-
about what we played.
Slow news week.
we're like, we've been talking for almost like an hour now here.
Oh yeah.
But like, just real quick, the first year, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Remember that came out?
Yeah, dude.
Big deal.
Yes.
Like people had
Still
doubts.
sells like hotcakes.
It still sells like
does.
hotcakes. People had doubts about it. Proved them wrong. Mario and Rabbids.
Dude, Mario and Rabbids is
That was your
incredible.
jam.
The leaks. All of us were panicking, thinking this
I've
was the worst
yeah.
thing in the world.
I've said this countless times, but I'll say it again. I've never been so wrong. I've never gone such a hard 180 on a game,
yeah.
or maybe on anything, that I did on Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Because, like, God, that leak made that game seemed like the dumbest thing that was
The
ever
notes
going
on
to
like
happen.
their humor they were going for seemed like a recipe
God.
for disaster.
Yeah.
But we just all read it wrong, or else
Well, and then
or else that leak was intentional to get feedback. Who knows?
Who knows? But
Who
like,
knows?
I think the moment I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this game a chance. Well, they showed it, I think, gameplay at that Ubisoft event at E3, and I was like, wow, this actually doesn't look bad. But then, who's in the audience? Miyamoto.
So Miyamoto came on stage, and
Yeah.
then one of the lead designers was like in
the
tears.
director of the
because,
game was in
like,
tears,
yeah.
That was
and
so
I was just like,
sweet.
yo, this guy believes in this project. I was cynical.
Yeah.
This actually looks really fun. And then from that day, I was like, you know what? I'm into this.
Yeah.
And then I played it, and it was so good. That game rules.
It was a good, like, just another good game in its first year.
Yeah.
Leading up to
That was in the first year?
Yeah, that was
Wow.
that
Yes.
summer, and then you had like, remember Odyssey?
Oh, my God.
Remember the
Do
song?
I?
Remember the song?
Oh my
Remember
God.
like being the T-Rex
I had,
reveal?
like-
We thought it was some weird like dinosaur like
I know.
RPG, and then like Mario's hat's just on it. We're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then that trailer
That
just throwing
reveal.
the hat on everything.
So good.
I
Oh,
remember
so
it like
good.
I was floored by that trailer. And then immediately after it, we were like talking about consent with like possession of like
Oh god.
we were all like, wait a minute,
Wait.
there are human beings here.
Oh.
What's happening? But yeah, dude, Odyssey. So the moment in New Donk City where you do the thing with the song, I was like nearly in tears because it was just such a pure video gaming, pure moment. Oh my god!
So many good moments that playing. Sorry, spoiler real quick. If you haven't played it, playing as Bowser and the Bowser
Oh,
song kicking
yeah.
in, and in the ending, that message, Mario and Bowser vying for the princess's hand in marriage, and then she's like, "Neither of you, bye. I'm going to do my own
I'm
thing."
gonna go
Why-
travel the world.
yeah, like what is this? I have to choose between you two. It was like, oh. Yes, yeah, like well, saving a princess doesn't mean you're in. I was like, yeah, Nintendo. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
here you go, and a good way to handle it too. So, man, that game just knocked it out of the park for me. And it was so much fun. But I think in this show we've talked so much about the games that have come out over these years, and it's always fun to reminisce. But like, it has now led us to it's 3 years later, and yeah, you were saying like, what have you been playing on this lately? You know,
I've been going
It all
through-
led up to
It all
this.
led up to
I've been
this.
going through quite the grab bag
I'm
the
kidding.
past few days. Here's the thing. Okay, I was looking through the free games. I wanna get the I paid a lot of money for this bad boy.
yeah.
I found Asphalt 9 Legends. All right, it's the best premium racing game ever.
Best
It's a-
freemium racing
Freemium.
game.
Yeah, they
Ever.
they have a paid version, but I ain't paying yet. I will though. It's so good. Okay.
Okay.
Does it have glaring like buy a box, get the cards to get the new
Yeah.
Yes,
Does
all
that
the
okay?
time.
So it has that
All the time.
microtransactions shoved
But
in your
here's the thing.
face.
Does it have cool cars? Yes.
Okay.
Does it drive good? Yes, it drives great. It has like this like all these cool mechanics where you get the nitro boost. It's really cool. Does it have cool locations? Yeah, you're in Scotland, the Himalayas. You're going everywhere.
I just got an idea for an easy update. I want to sit you and Bloodworth down
I know where this
and
is
have
going.
you guys play
I know
this
where
game
is going.
and just see,
fun
Blood will,
see
like,
what
not
you
stand
think.
this,
And
I bet.
yeah, Bloodworth. See if Bloodworth hates it.
It's a fun game.
I mean,
It's a-
do they have cool cars they dangle in front of you? Like, oh, but you can't get this yet. Go buy. You know, you
Here's
gotta
the
pay
thing.
for this.
my Mitsubishi or whatever is going just fine.
Okay.
I updated that bad boy.
Until you hit
and
that
it's great.
paywall.
Well, here's the thing.
you hit a
Here's the thing.
barrier yet where you can't advance.
Hey, this, as a person who is playing this not for hours on end, because it
Okay.
does have like a timer, so like every 24 hours you can only play like your car runs out of fuel.
There we go.
Yeah.
I was waiting
But-
for that.
But you can literally play
Classic.
for like 6 to 12 matches. So that's
Okay.
a lot. So it's
if you're
like
on the go and stuff, you know,
yeah.
that's plenty probably.
And then it says like you should be this level, and you have to level up your car to level up a level.
okay.
And that's kind of wanting to trick you to buy stuff, but I'm like, I can beat these guys, no worries, and I do. So like, I
So
don't need to be
skill
level
help-
633. I'm level 600.
So
it's
being
fine.
skilled helps. You don't have to
Yeah.
like
600 in that already?
get a better car.
but but like, and the music's dope too. But you know,
Who are you, dude?
Hey,
here's the thing. I'm doing this when I'm waiting for my laundry, when I'm just chilling out, waiting for people to finish whatever. Like, it's not a game that I'm gonna sit down and play.
Yeah.
It's not wanting a mobile phone game because I like driving games, but I like them to feel good. And it's free. It's a free, Fun
Yeah.
game. Asphalt Legends. I
Can't
don't-
go wrong.
And also there's a nice thing on it where you can actually turn off the pay to, or like buying stuff, so you can give it to
Okay.
your kids. And it is a
Nice.
freemium
Oh,
game,
there
but
you
you can
go.
turn that stuff off
Good.
so they don't start buying
Okay,
crap.
I like
And to be
that.
fair, I've never like accidentally pressed anywhere, so I would end up into,
Okay.
even though they kind of advertise for it everywhere, or like you can get more
So they're not
packs.
slimy with the positioning, so you actually okay.
No,
That's good.
and I've played for an hour plus probably consecutively, and I still never hit that, oh, I should pay now.
Hey,
money.
man.
And it like,
I bought $15 worth of plants for my spaceship the other day in Elite Dangerous. So
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
maybe I
man.
need a new car. Maybe.
Yeah.
I-
Maybe you should. I think you should buy one.
Here's the thing.
Get-
I,
get
Trade in the
a-
old model.
What?
Trying to trade in the old model.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the reason
Get
I
an
looked
Aston
for
Martin. Celebrate.
Aston Martin
Celebrate Bond.
We're flagged already.
with that Billie
Copyright flagged.
Billie Eyelash,
I haven't even heard
that
new
Billie
theme.
Eyelash song.
I haven't even heard
It's
it
fine.
yet. I know what
It's
they
weird
listed.
because
I'm
she's
waiting for the movie. I'm gonna see the
barely of age and she's singing a song for a James Bond movie. I don't know.
Oh,
I thought that
so
was
it's
kind of
all
Hey
creepy.
man, don't age shame.
Aren't those usually like
mean-
sexual in nature or something? Like the
I
opening
mean,
credits?
the theme
James
song-
Or are they
Bond.
like artistic?
No,
the
these
put
songs,
it-
songs
are not generally sexy, but then they like put nude women in the
Yeah.
intro videos.
It's like
yeah.
a male power
they-
fantasy.
they-
That's
well,
what
they
Bond
pumped
films
the
are,
brakes
right?
on that a lot.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Well, yeah, the
James
Daniel
Bond is
Craig
sad and
stuff
lonely.
have been like
Yeah.
more down to earth, I would say.
He's just sad and depressed now.
Bond,
like,
yeah.
well, in this one, he's been like, well, I don't want to spoil stuff if people haven't seen trailers.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I've seen the trailers.
Oh, I was gonna say, whoa.
There's a new
there are a lot
featurette
of
trailer.
interesting things about this new one that I'm like, okay.
There's a
Ooh.
featurette trailer that spoils something. That
I'm just
people
hoping
care about.
after Spectre, it's like good.
Spectre was bad.
Yeah,
Skyfall,
Spectre was
man.
disappointing.
The opening
Skyfall
credits
had
to
good
Skyfall.
parts, but yeah, I found Skyfall disappointing too.
I just like the opening credits with Adele. That Adele.
Ooh.
Oh,
She
when
Where's
is
our
she
new
gonna
Ja-
make a game
Where's our
soundtrack?
new James Bond
she
game?
never let it rip though. She never
Where's our
let it
new
rip
James Bond game?
in that song. I kept
That's
expecting her to
true.
let it rip, and she never did. Maybe that. I mean, that's kind of Skyfall for you though. That's sort of what Skyfall's about.
You know what rips?
Skyfall.
Asphalt 9 Legends.
Oh,
There we go.
Hey!
Bringing it back.
Wah, wah,
Rip
wah.
that
Bringing it
asphalt.
back.
Here's the key. Here's the thing. I was looking for a free game. I think in like subconsciously because I played Pokemon for a little while, and I just hated the fact that I spent so much money on that game.
Oh,
just
okay.
because I only have a couple of badges, so I decided to jump back in. Maybe it's fun now, and like not only like the 3D stuff is woof, but then I'll go into the wild area, and I kill like it's a one punch one kill everything. I can't catch anything.
Yeah,
Even-
isn't that annoying?
It's so
Yeah.
annoying. I'm killing every single thing,
I
and
found
like
it hard to catch stuff.
that's why you're there. I'm not there to
I might
fight.
be
like,
missing,
it's weird.
like I might be uninformed here, but is there even like I don't even know anymore. Is there even an option to like there to just make it? A lot of RPGs when they run into this issue, they usually have an option, a fun option, especially when you beat the game, to toggle. I only do like 1 hit point damage, or you do no hit points, so that like you can
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
achieve certain things with an enemy, and like it'd be great
I don't
to
think
like
there's
have like a
anything like that.
damage reduction. I guess you just
Yeah.
go get
You just
maybe-
gotta use baby
I
Pokemon.
think you just gotta go to a low level zone, like best ball you can afford. That's like not super
Yeah.
rare. Toss it at a full HP Pokemon and like catch one of them low
Well, that's
level.
the thing. It's like you don't want to spend. Well, it's like 200 credits for an Ultra Ball, and then
Jeez.
it's like okay, but I do want to level
Oh, this is
up
Pokemon
my.
Go.
No.
Sword Shield.
No, Sword and
Shield.
Shield.
Okay.
Pokemon
Yeah.
Go didn't have the
No.
real
You don't
Pokemon thing. You don't,
Okay.
have, you don't have to wear them down to catch
Mm-hmm.
them. You just do the Pokemon.
I meant like spending credits. You're talking about in game, like the
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
not
Let's
like
Go didn't
not.
do that.
I was like, wait, you
Not
buy
real
money
money.
in? So
No,
I was like,
no,
when
no.
do they add money?
I
in this?
love
I was like, because you said you're
paying
spending a
money.
lot of money, and I'm like, wait a second, did I completely
No.
miss them adding like
No,
you
no.
buy
Sword and
in-game-
Shield has massive
Whoa,
microtransactions.
They would make
now.
so much money off
Oh
that.
yeah, if you could buy
geez.
balls.
Sorry.
I mean, Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Is
I was just not following.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
no.
I get it now.
No, but it's like it's a weird thing because you do want to level up your Pokemon to fight the next trainer, but then it's like okay, but I also like okay, I hit this guy and he dropped just a tiny little bit, so I'm like I gotta hit him again, just whoosh. Oh, I just killed. It says like oh this
you
is
got to
just
use less effective types.
yeah, but even they do that.
Yeah, like it says not
Like-
effective, but they're dead.
But they're dead.
Like,
Yeah, and it's like I want to
well,
train.
it seems pretty damn effective to me.
yeah.
I
You
do
gotta-
wanna
I just
like-
rolled everybody with my starter.
That's not what I want to do. Like I'm leveling up the exact Pokemon I need for the next trainer and what he or she or they gonna be having. So
You're
like
playing
what
the way
type
the
they
game
are.
I wish they would push you. Like I wish there was even just a mode that you select. I want to play the game where I need to put in a little bit more effort to catch teams specially crafted to counter this gym leader and stuff. Not
Yeah.
I power leveled my starter Pokemon. I'm rolling through.
That game is hella-
That was me in
Hella
Pokemon
easy.
Blue.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god, my Charizard was
Ex-
level like 90 something.
Well, I think that's the problem is there's a little bit of a disconnect with Pokemon where it's like I think that they are making a kids game, and then like we're all grown ass adults being like this game's too easy.
But
Yeah.
what about 7-year-old Simone?
She's amazing.
She's amazing.
Prodigy.
I'm
I
happy
love
for her.
Here's
that-
the thing. I think it could be. It's a game that could be for all, but I think some of the problem is that like the fact that you can just one punch, like you're in this wild zone,
Man.
but you can't like you can't catch certain Pokemon unless you're level blah 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 or above. But then when you get that level, your Pokemon will kill those Pokemon. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense. Like
You know what game did difficulty in an interesting way that I actually kind of liked, which I thought was kind of funny because a review at the time it came out said that the game was way too easy. And I was like, well, clearly you just beat the story and didn't keep going with the crazy stuff because Mario Odyssey gets gnarly after the end game stuff. That is some crazy hard stuff I found. And I think that's a cool way to do it where it's like ease into it. The story is more attainable for like anybody. But then there was stuff toward the end of Odyssey where I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this.
So
Like,
that's
this is
kinda like-
crazy.
That's
was it kind of like
Yeah.
was it kind of like the Valkyries in God of War?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, here's a hard extra thing that you don't have to do.
Yeah.
they've been doing that since like I think maybe like
Oh, it's a Mario standby. Yeah.
since like Galaxy 2 is I feel like they started to like really introduce like those challenge like stars
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Even Lost Levels stuff, like way back,
Yeah.
like was kind of crazy.
The whole thing about you beat the game and now here's some extra stuff.
Right,
Like
yeah.
I mean, the original Super Mario Brothers does have a new
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
more difficult. When you beat it, you get like Goombas replaced by the Beatles and stuff. But though, like what was the 3D World like has all this extra stuff. Once like there's so much, especially like in new the Super Mario 3D Land, the 3DS one. They do this thing where you think like you're done with the game, but you're only halfway. There's
Yeah.
all these extra things. You might get an ending credits, but they hold the harder stuff like, hey, you did beat the game, but there's like so much more to do and play level wise, but they're a little bit more challenging. So don't feel too bad. Like they do a good job. I think making you feel satisfied that
Like,
you got a
Odyssey
good
was like
experience.
that,
Yeah,
Where it was like, how many, I don't even know I can't remember the numbers for the moons, but like,
yeah.
I think you were over half, but like, there was still a good number of moons that I hadn't achieved by the time I beat the game.
Champions Road in Super Mario 3D World. Like Bossman loves to bring that up all the time. Like that's a hard one. I want to see someone beat that again. It's like, yeah, it's it's a good challenge level.
Yeah.
Yeah, they throw that at you. To wrap it up, I know Ian, have you been playing anything interesting on Switch really recently?
Playing some Asphalt Legends as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get heavy into Asphalt Legends.
It's a fun
Um,
game. It's like Burnout.
I have not played that, but
should.
it sounds fun.
It is.
I've been playing the Fire Emblem DLC.
Yes. We talked about that in the last friend code.
Yeah,
But
I'm enjoying it so far.
How far are you?
2 plane rides. I don't know, like 5 or 6 hours.
You don't remember what chapter you're on, or it's okay.
5 or 6.
Oh wow, you're pretty far.
Yeah.
It's not that
Maybe
long.
7?
It's like an 8 hour to 10, depending on what difficulty.
I definitely did chapter 5. I think I'm at toward the end of chapter 5.
Okay, you're pretty close.
There was just a twist.
Yeah. But how are you liking it?
I like it. I mean, like, I didn't have any expectations. I didn't know what to expect. So I was pleasantly surprised. I think, like, I'm interested in, like, because you can recruit the new characters, right, in the new game, and I was going to go through again as I was waiting for this DLC to drop
I see.
to go through my second playthrough so I could recruit
Yep.
more people to my house, because I didn't recruit anyone except for that older lady, the knight. Oh, what's her name?
Catherine?
No, the
Wait.
other one. The one that's Catherine's maybe like
Shamir?
girlfriend. Shamir, yeah.
I think it's Shamir.
Shamir, yeah.
Yeah.
She was like the only one I recruited because I just asked her to help me for a mission, and then she just hung out the rest of the game with me, and I was like, okay, whatever. So this time I was gonna try to recruit like everyone,
I like it.
just to see what happens. Like have a team of like 40 people, and then like all the other houses have like no one in them, and I'm just like, you're dead. But yeah. So I was waiting for that. So I'm excited to try to recruit like Happy into my team, I guess, and Anna. Who I guess they changed in a different DLC to be recruitable. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the vendor basically
Yeah.
in all the games.
Because I haven't talked to her. I don't have any experience with her. But I bought Ace Attorney trilogy.
Ooh.
I'm playing that too.
But I haven't played it yet.
Have you ever played it before?
I've never played an Ace Attorney.
Oh, very curious.
Never played one.
Very curious to hear about your
I've
experience
played.
with it.
I mean, I don't know how similar to like nonary games. I figure they're like funny nonary games, like Virtue's Last
what do you
Reward or
mean?
something. I don't know, but
I played it yesterday.
oh, funny.
Yeah.
I played that Professor Layton phone game, and I hated it because the phone game was really bad.
It's not
It's
like
not.
that.
Okay.
That's something. Yeah.
This is a good
but well,
game.
from what I've heard, the Professor Layton phone game was I can't remember the name of it. Was different from real Professor Layton games.
I remember the original Professor Layton games. They're really good.
Yeah,
They
like the
they're not
puzzles
good
and
now.
stuff in the phone game were horrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, Don and I are going through Deadly Premonition. I played Chapter 5 of Kentucky Route Zero on the Switch, which was a very interesting experience because I've played all the rest on computer, and I didn't have my save file, so I don't know if that affects how or Act 5 plays out at all. But that was pretty rad. Yeah.
So you played actual game as well.
Now you've been playing a lot.
I played.
Yeah. Played a little Ring Fit adventure before we got a personal trainer.
Ooh.
And that was pretty intense. But yeah.
Which do you like better?
Huh?
Going to the gym or playing Ring
I mean,
Fit?
I don't like getting up early, but I guess going to the gym is good.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
give us different stuff to do.
You don't stand there with the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And jog in place.
It's like I stopped playing Ring Fit. And I go on walks outside.
Yeah.
It's like this.
Yeah,
That
this is the
sounds
same.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
But you know, game, I busted it out with a friend of mine that was in town because we needed to play a game real quick. And Crawl. That game is fun.
Crawl.
Have you played that?
No,
It's
I'm
older. I think it's on all kinds of stuff, not just the Switch, but I was just recently playing it. It's kind of fun. We should play it on a stream or something.
Yeah.
Probably we did back in the day.
But
it's
if
like
we did or not.
super pixelated, and one person is alive and all the other people are dead at a time. And the ghosts can like possess monsters and like try to fight you, and then if they kill you, they become the human.
Oh.
And then it leads up to whoever can try to beat the boss, and the other players are trying to be the boss while the person is trying to kill the boss.
Huh.
I'm explaining this poorly, but it's
Yeah.
fun.
I feel like I just probably need a visual,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
You'll just see, yeah.
But yeah.
Whatever.
I trust you. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of just waiting for that Animal Crossing, I guess.
Yeah.
I check every Tuesday and Friday if there's new stuff.
Yeah.
Metro.
I love just
Hey,
getting new stuff on my Switch.
Hey, everyone thinks Direct's gonna be announced every single week. Tomorrow's like morning. Might
I
be
heard a
announced for
rumor
Thursday.
that a Direct actually happened a couple of hours ago that we just didn't hear about.
Oh no.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna need sources on that. I
Yeah.
was kidding.
Bossman told me.
Yeah, Kyle did it. Kyle hosted it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle.
He just put up a sheet,
He just wanted to one up
a
Bloodworth.
white sheet.
Yeah, he was like, "Sorry, Bloodworth, I kind of like took your job at Nintendo. Goodbye." And we're gonna hear from Bloodworth tomorrow. He's gonna be very
Yeah,
disappointed.
he's
He's,
gonna be
not
very
gonna be happy
disappointed.
about this. Yeah, I think I already said like I've been playing a lot of RE4 just because it came out on there. Been playing actually.
I just watched a speed run of RE4 the other day.
Oh, I can't imagine what that's like. I booted
Pretty
it
wild.
up for yesterday during Mike and Mike because we finished Final Fantasy VII Dawn. Just need to fill a little bit more time. And I was telling Huber how much I've been playing it over the last week, and like I was like, yeah, I played for about this long, and then like, wait, let's go check my profile. Brought it up. I was like, whoa, I've been playing it way longer than I thought. So like it gets you like that and stuff. But like I'm in the same place. Like right now, waiting to see what Nintendo is going to be doing. We got a Animal Crossing, a big game for this month.
Yeah.
We got
2 weeks, baby.
Yeah, we
Think
got
I might get it.
Pokemon
get
DLC
it.
coming soon,
Oh,
but
really?
like
Oh yeah, that's right.
beyond that, it's like we need some announcements here. So we're kind of in that like holding pattern. I think like what's going to be the next big thing, confirmed next big thing.
Yeah.
GTA.
GTA?
Yeah, GTA 6
Imagine how
exclusive to Switch.
that
That'd be
would be a
bonkers.
power play.
Actually,
They would know. Everybody would be getting a Switch.
Huber's dream was like to do another like Chinatown War style game for like Switch. Well, like they do the mainline GTA for consoles PC, but like Switch gets like
fun.
But I mean, like San Andreas or something could perfectly go on the
GTA
Switch.
5 port for Switch. Where is that?
Yeah, exactly.
That makes so much sense.
Even if 5 is too big, they could have done 4.
Yeah, where
Saints Row's
all of
on
them.
there.
What? Yeah.
When Saints Row's on there, it definitely should
You
be
would
able
say,
to.
yeah.
Saints Row is
You were
on there.
100% right.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So like,
Saints
why?
Row 3?
I think it's 4, 3 or 4. Maybe they're all on there. I forget. One of them was just recently.
Let's find out.
So
Let's find out.
Yeah, tell me what it is, because Blood always sends the email saying, "Hey, Saints Row code came in. Anyone want it?"
And everyone's like, nah.
Yeah, we're all like,
I'll take it.
well, because it means coverage
we
usually.
played it already, yeah.
It's not like
Saints Row.
displayed for fun. It's like you got to do something with it if you take the code.
Played them already.
What?
Saints Row the Third, Saints Row 4 re-elected, and Red Faction Guerrilla remastered. Oh, that's just
So they have
late.
3 and 4 in there.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
Nice.
See?
Huh.
All right.
Pre-purchase for 4. It's not out
Okay,
yet.
so that's the one I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
See? You see?
What do I see?
Do you see?
Do you see?
Do you see?
Stole
Do
my
you
pen.
see?
Yep.
Actually,
Yep.
This
did
is
that.
my Staedtler pigment liner.
Yeah, I know.
0.5.
Yeah, I just had it in case I need to make a note.
I'm onto pencils now anyway.
we're gonna answer one patron question
Yes.
to wrap this up.
Okay.
It's a fun one. It comes from Rammer Howdy Panel. Can we please get more special editions, like Nintendo hardware special editions? Nintendo recently announced the Animal Crossing special edition console, and it looks amazing. Unfortunately, Nintendo hasn't released too many special editions of the Switch. If Nintendo were to release a special edition console for an upcoming or even unannounced game, what would be your ideal style or colors, and for what game would you want it for?
Asphalt 9 Legends.
I need colors.
Okay.
I need colors. I need a design of this. What is
Car.
it?
Car colors.
Car's a color?
Chrome.
Ferrari car color. Thank you.
What's the Ferrari car? Are you just assuming
Red.
red? Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
Just a Ferrari logo on. I could just paint this, honestly. Yeah. No, that would not be my answer. This is going to be a very heavy answer. I got to think through.
I got an answer.
You got an
Okay.
answer, Ian? Okay.
Dragon's Dogma 2,
Oh.
a standard Switch, and it would have the kind of like dragon art from the like that shadow wall painting from the menu on the back. And this part's black, like a gray, maybe dark gray, and that's like a lighter gray on here. And then this one would be like deep, like burgundy, like a burnt red. And maybe this one would be like a burnt like orange, but like they're a similar value, but like a bloody red and then like a fire orange kind of.
Okay.
very cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
Dragon's
don't
Dogma
want
2.
I don't want a Ferrari Switch.
Okay.
Does it have to be? Can it be a game that's already out?
Sure,
Or
why
does
not?
Or does it has to, I want a Gengar Switch or all the 3
Ooh.
Haunter and then Ghastly Haunter Gengar, and it's purple and it has their like silhouettes.
That
great.
would
That's
be
good.
pretty- Okay.
As a
That's
Switch
good.
Lite, as a Switch
That's
Lite,
a good
just
idea.
all purple.
Because
and
when
then
you hold it
have
up, people see that. Yeah,
yeah,
I like
and you
this.
see that. See that? That would
That's
be.
good.
bomb.
That
That's
is
good.
that is sleek.
Yeah.
I approve.
But also a Ferrari.
But also the Ferrari.
Yeah.
Only thing I can come up with is for when Metroid Prime 4 comes out,
Oh, dude.
make it look like Samus's helmet.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
And the screen's the
that'd be
visor. Yep.
Dude.
Yep.
They have to.
They have to.
Right?
They have to.
They have to.
Gotta do it.
If they
Nintendo.
did it
But
for Animal Crossing, they're going to do it for
Where are they
Metroid.
going to put the logo?
They did it for
the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
front looks
the
like
little
the-
ball would just be right here.
The morph ball replaces the
Dude,
Switch logo.
it almost looks like the Switch logo, kind of. The little.
What if that's the reveal? Like the Switch
my
logo opens up and
God.
Sam. Ah,
Ah!
Y'all gonna be so disappointed.
I know we are. We're
Never hope.
Don't do this.
Never hope.
Don't do this to yourselves.
What
Well,
else?
didn't
Stop.
they did a Smash one, didn't they? There was a Smash.
I'm the
Special
worst
Switch?
for
I thought there
special
was.
editions for Switch. Unless it's a Zelda one, I just ignore it. And I only know about Animal Crossing because it's like the new hotness right now. Everyone's talking about it. It's sold out already, so you can't even get it anymore.
very
It did look
Wow.
nice though.
It's very
Those
niche.
like
Great.
pastel greens, I really like the color scheme, but I was never gonna buy it.
Nothing gonna top this purple and weird orange.
It's a pretty
I
good
like
one.
These colors.
I
a lot.
mean, it's.
Bloodworth has these too now.
There's a game coming out
copycat.
soon
Copycat, dude.
that's called Dude Stop. I would like that to just be on my.
Dude, stop.
It's just Dude Stop. I don't know what game it is, but it would be cool to just have a red one that just says Dude Stop, and I could just Dude Stop. Darts. That's gonna be a fun game. Sorry.
Put a dartboard on the back of your Switch.
Oh,
Paint
yeah.
on there, and people start tossing.
That's a
it.
People
terrible.
start touching. You're like, oh, God.
Oh, I was so confused.
Well, someone's got like an AR phone game version, so they just gotta like scan it. Like, okay, now I can play. Thank you.
So you need to play this game. You need a phone, but also you need a Switch. So you use the Switch as a dartboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
You could do a Fez one that has just like QR codes all over it.
You could do a zombie one. There's probably some zombie game coming where it's just white and then just like blood.
Oh.
Let's wait for
Blood.
a Resident Evil game.
Yeah,
It'll
just-
be Resident Evil, of course.
This is dumb, but a Resident Evil like 1, where the whole back just looks like a door from the Spencer Mansion. It's just like a loading screen door, like vertically.
Okay.
Yo, do you know what I want?
We're
you
just
know what
getting
I
into
want?
fun territory now.
I want the purple Game Boy Color see-through.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Those ones, yeah.
Those were cool.
I saw
Plastic
someone.
see-through, yeah.
I saw someone like make one,
that.
but I'm like, I don't want to do that. But
That
like
seems
that would be
Rixy.
great. Bring back the transparent purple, man. That was rad. And then put a Haunter on it,
Yeah.
And then put Hunter.
and a
Wait,
Gengar,
Haunter
and a Ghastly.
on the circuit board on the inside,
Oh,
so you see through the plastic in there. On
please,
The circuit board. They're on the PCB.
please. Can you get me one?
Yeah, I'll call up Reggie.
Good.
He owes me.
He's
a
gonna call
favor.
Bossman now.
Hello.
Oh yeah.
He's hosting that direct we missed, so
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah,
can probably
yeah.
hook you up with one.
Yeah.
See, that would be. It would be cool though if they made like. What if they made like an orange one with Charizard? That'd be pretty cool.
I mean, this prints money. They could probably just
Green
you know,
Bulbasaur. People love Bulbasaur, I guess.
They'll probably do a
Right?
Zelda one.
Oh, I read the Zelda idea was like just to make like the tablet again,
Oh,
make
dude,
your Switch, yeah,
Dude, what?
and that'll be a Switch Pro, so looking cooler.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go spend some money.
I would buy that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, limited
I'd probably
edition.
buy that.
They'll probably definitely do one for Breath of the Wild if it's
Yeah.
normal Switch, or whatever. I think that's gonna do it for this episode, though.
Yeah.
Good talks.
It's a wild one.
Good talks. Again, I apologize. We had another topic and planned out, but unfortunately, Ash Paulson couldn't join us tonight. Got stuck at the voting booth, and we'll try and get Ash on the next episode. So everyone who's sending questions was expecting that. Sorry, but you know, life happens sometimes.
Gotta vote.
Yes,
It's important.
today is
Yeah.
important. No matter what, you got to vote, and don't forget to do it again in November when it happens
Shout
as well.
out
Imagine
to the voters.
Yeah, shout out.
Imagine if Ash had decided not to vote. Come here.
That would send a bad
And I'm just talking
message.
about Asphalt Legends for an hour.
Yeah.
And then they would have been sitting here thinking, "Wow,
I gotta try.
I could
this.
I
I
could
could have waited 5 hours in line to vote, or
Playing Asphalt
listen to
Legends.
Sophia
Yes.
talk about asphalt." They could have been.
You've been
You could have.
playing it.
We should have. I should have found out what you're going to talk about sooner in terms of the game you were playing. Texted them, say, "Hey, you need to play this for research." And even though they
not
didn't
that
show up,
great.
they would have been playing it for 4 hours. No,
Oh, it's not that great.
Uh,
Actually, no, I stand by it. It's great. I stand by it.
that's the final
stand by
verdict.
it.
Final verdict. Stand by it.
Best freemium game I played in a long time.
Put it on the back
I
of the
stand
box.
by it. Hot take.
I stand by.
Thank you, everybody who submitted questions for consideration for Friend Code. To submit questions for consideration for a future episode of Friend Code, you need to be a $5 and up patron. As a $5 and up patron, you are also part of our early access tier where you get episodes of Friend Code and many of our other shows and podcasts a little bit early before they go public. So thank you for those of you who support it that way. And thanks to everyone else who watches this episode when it goes public. We also have some shout outs for the month of March.
Shout out.
Shout outs to El Thanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb Togi Crawford, Will Schmuck, and Mr. One Luigi. Shout out.
Is it
I like that. I stopped doing the cadence thing because that's the Easy Allies podcast, and I'm not. Kyle hosting you direct now has just angered me so much. I can't like live in the shadow of that guy anymore.
Yeah.
Gotta do it my own way.
My arms look so weird.
It is late, so thank you all again for watching, supporting the show. Thank you both for joining me.
Yeah.
And until actually, wait, real quick, are you doing anything, Sophia, that you want to shout out or anything like that? Or
Nah.
nah? I gotta get the opportunity. Like,
Yeah, no, I
I don't
appreciate
need
it.
the
We did a
jerk.
Valentine's Day stream where we played Obscure. That game rules.
Ooh,
We gotta play that. More.
check it out on
Yeah, maybe we'll could finish it.
Easy Allies Plays, right?
No, probably. I don't know.
Where's your finish?
Okay.
Bloodworth probably put it somewhere.
Both
It is on. It is on Easy Allies Place.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's on Easy Allies Plays, so
It's
check it out.
It's the. I don't know. Are we gonna finish it?
I'd like to.
Yeah, let's finish it.
Finish it.
That game is
It-
sick.
it
You-
is
You would like
good.
that
I
game.
don't even know what you said.
Obscure.
Oh, Obscure.
You play as
I'd never
Dude
heard of it.
Bros.
I had never heard of it. It's like The Faculty, the movie.
Oh.
It's like The Faculty meets like I don't know, Silent
Silent
Hill
Hill.
or Fatal Frame or Clock Tower or something.
Well, we
you
should
have
back up.
5 students, 4 or 5 students, and if one of them dies, they're just dead. And then you
Oh,
have
permanent Fs.
that
It's
many left.
Crazy.
Yikes.
And like
You don't want to lose them all.
It's crazy.
I think we
And-
should
yeah.
back up and finish Silent Hill 2 with me, though, at some point.
Dude,
Yeah.
Damiani.
We gotta make it happen.
Also, we gotta do the enhanced edition.
we're doing the enhanced edition now.
I gotta put it on my laptop, see if it works. and then we can
Actually,
do it.
if you-
let's just do it, baby.
If we can-
we don't have to wait.
Do you remember? Can you figure out where I left off and maybe
I know exactly where you
play
left
up
off.
that part on the PC?
We just
enhanced?
got into the second apartment building.
Yeah, if we can have a save file
Dude,
around
we could
there.
Just, we could get back
Okay,
there
or you
in
guys,
like
you can
I
play
could
up to
Sherpa
there
you-
really quick.
yeah, I could get there in like a half hour.
Okay. This is
No
all the stuff we can
problem.
look forward to. Hey, you know it'd be awesome if they put that enhanced edition on Switch.
Get on it, Silent
Yeah,
Hill.
Konami.
Town of Silent Hill. Well, it's just the modders now. These heroes.
Hire those modders. All right, that's really going to do it all for this episode. Until next time, may the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.